Okay, here we go. So this is week 2. This is the lecture PowerPoint with the narration for week 2 for work. Still getting in the assessment parts that we need to know before we start applying all this assessment knowledge to the different kind of work, high-risk work professions. So this week, what we're going to get into is a lot of stuff around posture, core, sitting and standing posture, a little bit on your feet pain, bending over, transfer stuff, mostly get that into the lab. Really trying to set you up in this lecture to get you ready for the lab, doing a lot of great stuff, big stuff in the lab. Okay, so first I just want to go back a little bit to review the exercises that you've been doing, those explorations 1 through 4. So what are those about? What are we trying to get at with those explorations? Again, it's getting back at this theme of your dull kinesthetic sense. You're sitting all day. You start to lose touch with certain muscles, certain parts of your body, like your abs become like that jelly belly. You get that rounded shoulder, forward head, very commonly from people just sitting all day in their jobs. You kind of become unaware of your body until you're in pain. And you can remember, what's going on, but it's kind of a long-term kind of problem, kind of beating up on your body. And this kind of is going the other way with these explorations, trying to use the parts of your body that were designed to be used for sitting and standing and all that. And that's kind of what that 1 through 4 is about. Let me just do it. I can swing this. I'm going to try to do it first. You can see me. This funky view here. So as I do this, this is kind of the 1 through 4. Kind of slouch a little bit. You can't really see a lot of me, but with this one, when you start putting 1 through 4 all together, and you can do them all together once you do them separately, you're going to start slouched, and then you kind of come back like this. So I'm going from this to this, really training you to engage the muscles, the iliacus and the psoas particularly. Really open up your chest, pull your shoulders back, retract your scapula, get your neck back so you're not doing the forward head. It really facilitates the right muscles doing what they need to be doing to have that good posture, that good kinesthetic awareness that makes it so you can sit for long periods without being in pain. A big part of that is your ischium, sitting on your ischium. Your sit bones. She's really good posture here. She's been doing these explorations. She's got really good tone, good kinesthetic awareness. She's where she needs to be. She's sitting on her sit bones right here. She's not sitting on her tailbone. She has a slight anterior tilt. What do I mean by an anterior tilt? Anterior tilt of her pelvis. This is her pelvis. And her pelvis as a whole is coming forward towards her anterior side, the front of her, slightly. See how this little kind of inverted C through here to tell me that she's got a little tilt going on. We want just a slight tilt. That's considered neutral. We don't want an excessive tilt. We don't want a posterior tilt. A slight anterior tilt is ideal. It's what she's got, what she's showing us. Sitting on her sit bones. Chest is opened up. Shoulders are back. Neck is nice as neutral. She's in a good position to stay relaxed and to be sitting long periods, as long as you can. I mean, we really are designed to sit for long periods, to be sitting and not getting a lot of pain. Okay, so that's kind of what we were doing for those 1 through 4. You kind of build on that. But just keep that in mind. That's what those are about, getting that slight anterior tilt, engaging these muscles, sitting on your sit bones, all that good stuff, because you're going to have to apply that to cases in the midterm. Speaking of quizzes and midterms and all that, these are the learning questions for this week. I'm going to answer these by the end of today. If you have questions about any of these, quickly email and Zoom so we can talk about it before the quiz. These are going to be on the 9/10 quiz on Thursday, coming right up. September 10 quiz on Thursday. Come in first thing, and you're going to be handed this quiz to do this on these 7 questions. Some of these 7 questions, you won't get all 7 of these questions on the quiz. There's not enough time. Some of these 7 questions will also be on the midterm. Same exact questions, kind of like we did with context. So you're studying for the quizzes and you're studying for the midterm at the same time. Okay, so this is our case for the day. Let's move it into. Okay, I'm just going to keep it like this so you can see it easier. So this is the case for the day, and this is our case. Mr. Putin, P-U-T-I-N. He's been told he's the leader of Russia, and he's complaining about pain in his lower back, his neck, and his feet, all 5 out of 10. And when sitting and standing, he demonstrates forward head. There's the forward head. Rounded shoulders. You can see rounded shoulders here, not so much here, but here. And he's sitting on his tailbone. Right here, sitting on his tailbone. It's good to contrast him with her. She's sitting on her sit bones. Nice tilt. Tailbone, posterior tilt. So that classic flat back. Also, when he's walking, you notice he walks as something called duck feet. Flat-footed, just kind of bangs as he goes. Reports that he's been texting his generals. He was texting a lot recently, constantly pacing the halls of the Kremlin, where he lives, contemplating how to wipe out all his enemies. He's been assigned his OT in order to end all of his pain. You start to contemplate leaving the country in the middle of the night, and then you remember all you learned in this class, and you start to have hope. And particularly, you determine what exercises can you do to address each of his issues. His neck pain, his low back pain, foot pain, and exactly how cold is it in Siberia, and should you start purchasing warm weather? Okay, so that's our case for today. Let's move forward in some of these. Williamson exercises, Williamson exploration. This is number 5. She's got the forward head, doesn't she? Okay, so exploration number 5 is about the neck. It's about getting your neck where it should be, back into neutral versus forward neck, and overly straining your neck. Kind of looking down without straining those neck muscles. This idea of this visualization of floating it upward. I'm going to do it in a second. The idea is to allow your neck muscles to work less. And this isn't a strengthening thing. This isn't about strengthening your neck muscles or even strengthening your abdominal muscles or whatever. It's about becoming more aware of them, increasing the tone so they can do what they've been designed to do, basically, versus just sitting there and doing nothing all day. We also know from upper extremity, if your neck is forward like this, it really, really compromises those neck muscles. The scalenes, the levator scap, all those neck muscles just get used and abused when it's forward like that. So we go back to me, and with this, posture. With this one, talks about the neck as a hinge joint. So as I'm going and flexing my neck up and down, right in here is the hinge. So when Putin is looking down and texting, he should be doing this. Just kind of bringing it up, bringing the cell phone up, and just looking down like that. Neck is a hinge joint. Doesn't want to bring the neck forward. How would the neck, what's an example of that? The neck coming forward, neck coming forward, sets up all these bad things. Put your neck in a compromised position, starts to get real sore, starts to tighten up your pecs and your chest, rounded shoulders, all these terrible things with the forward neck. Stay in neutral, just neck as a hinge. You need to teach Putin to reduce his neck pain, reduce the strain in his neck. This exploration also talked about this visualization, when you're kind of visualizing your neck kind of elevating, thinking of it almost like floating up like a balloon kind of thing. See how it's kind of going up. Again, it's putting more into neutral where it should be, reducing the load on my neck muscles. Consequently, ideally, reducing the pain as well. Okay, so let's go moving on here. Again, the idea is you're kind of minimizing. This talks about the 1 through 4 explorations you've done And he's done a lot of these 1 through 4s. This is kind of the end result of it. His psoas and iliacus are really engaged. These big muscles towards the middle of your body give him a really good trunk extension, a nice, a little bit flat back, but he's got a little bit of tilt there, sitting on his ischium, sitting on his sit bones, not his tailbone. If he had excessive posterior tilt, for him, he would be back sitting on his sit bones, like Putin was. Chest is nice and open, shoulders are back, neck is nice and neutral. He's doing that exploration 5. He's getting his neck back where it should be. You know, he looks really good. This is where you want to be, to sit comfortably, you know, for longer periods that we need, as we need to a lot of our jobs, and be without pain. Okay, so that should be the end of part 1.